Okay, the next section is really when you get into running the events. Each event, I generally just keep a general event name, so anniversary postcard, for example. I'm not concerned about when I run it, whether it's August, September, October, because that will be identified down here at the bottom of the screen, the event runs that you have made for that particular campaign. That way, when you run your ROI summary reports, that all of your redemptions for anniversaries will all be combined together and give you grand totals to see if it's effective and giving you a good return on investment. On the frequency over here on the side, if you only want to see certain frequencies, you can turn those off. And then as you highlight your campaigns, you can actually specify the frequency of that campaign up here at the top. So if I do a monthly anniversary postcard, I would assign that. And then that way, when you are selecting your campaigns, you can see how they turn on, turn off, because you will get a list of a lot of campaigns. We default them to all show at one time, but it is a great way to organize yourself to where if you're looking at the frequency that you want, if we're looking at September, October right now, you're not looking at Easter and St. Patrick's Day campaigns under the event name. If you want to add a new event, you just click on Add Event and it will take you through the event wizard. After you've ran the campaign the first time, you would just merely highlight the event name, click on the event wizard, and that will bring the event wizard process. The first screen is probably the most important. You have your event name. The type of event can be an advertisement if you don't know who your targeted audience is, such as maybe you're doing an entertainment coupon book advertisement or a newspaper or a billboard. You can enter those into ProfitMAX and then you can redeem against those as the redemptions come in. The direct mail, if you're going to print something, you want to select direct mail and it will produce it and bring it up on screen so you can print it directly from your computer. If it's an email event, you would select email. And if you're using a third-party mailing house for your mailings, you can say direct mail export, which will create a CSV file, which is compatible with Excel, so that you can send it to a third-party vendor and then they can produce the mailing for you. In this case, I'm just going to go ahead and leave it as a direct mail. The document body that you're using is our anniversary postcard, which are all your documents that you have defined, so you want to make sure that's selected. The name type, you can go through customers, employees, or businesses, or the custom list. If you select a custom list, it will bring up another field saying custom name list, and then you can drop down and say, I just want to send this out to my VIP members, or whatever filters you would like. In the case of anniversaries, I would always go to all my customers that I have them for. I've never seen anybody get upset about receiving something telling them happy anniversary or happy birthday. What is the expiration date? ProfitMAX defaults your expiration date to 3 weeks from the day you're running the campaign, which is historically through research been the time frame that you really want to use. Obviously, if you're doing monthly anniversaries and you were doing it for the month of September, I would probably go to the end of September for that campaign. As you go next, it will go through each of the tabs on the left-hand side. I don't have any location, so it skipped that. The sources, if you need to filter out based on sources, you can do that. Occupations, the event options, in this case it's an anniversary, so we'd say it's an anniversary equals true. The custom options, day and age options allow you to select the date range that you want. So in this case, month, we'll go month 9 and the 1st through the 30th. Then if you have the years of your birthdays, you can also specify a minimum age and a maximum age. So if you have a kids club program, 1 to 12, or senior citizens, 65 or higher. The date options, you have the option of saying, I only want to market to people from the days from their first visit, days from their last activity, or when we last marketed to them. So I could actually come in and say, if I haven't mailed them anything in the last 90 days, I could put in 90 to 0, and 0 is actually and higher in this case. And then at that point, when you run the campaign, it would only produce postcards for anybody that hadn't received anything in the last 90 days. The zip code filters, you can filter on zip code. When you're filtering on zip codes, if you wanted to just filter an entire state, you can enter in the first 2 or 3 characters of the zip code, and then it will get anything that matches those zip codes. Under email options, if you are sending email, and I'll pop back to this as soon as we get done with this one to explain the email options. The name list and coupons, if you have a coupon offer. In this case, we're doing that $15 complimentary certificate. We'll go ahead and select that, and you can select multiple coupons. And then if you wanted a name list, you could actually create a name list, but in most cases you won't do that. At that point, you just come down to the summary page and say run now. When you run your campaigns, this print setup window is critical because you need to select the proper printer and your proper size. Make sure that your orientation is correct, and then if you have any special printer properties that you need to set, you need to do that. Once you answer OK, it'll produce the document. So here's our postcard for our anniversary. Obviously, we would have the pre-printed postcard, which would have your return address on there, and maybe some other things as well. When it's on the preview page, you can actually go next through each one of the customers that has an anniversary during the month of September. When you have your document up on the preview screen, it's good that you verify the information that it's printing to make sure that you don't have any typos. Also, you will want to print a test page to verify that the information is printing properly on the postcard. To do this, you would click on the print button, which will bring up your output options, where you can then select that you just want to select a single page, in this case page 1 through 1, and then you would answer OK. If the postcard printed out correctly and you wanted to repeat the process to print the remaining cards, again, just click on the print and then select the remaining pages that are remaining and answer OK. At that point, when you close out, there's a very important question here where it says, would you like to create transactions for this event? If you're sending an email, it will automatically do that because we don't know if it's going out or not. If you actually print it and it's going in the mail, you definitely want to answer yes to this. If you saw something wrong with the preview and you wanted to go make some changes, you would answer no, and then you go make your changes and just run the event wizard again for that campaign. In this case, I'll go ahead and answer yes. It will create the transactions, and then at that point it will put your event run down here at the bottom, how many people you sent it to, and as you do your redemption, it will put in how many redeemed, how many were returned. On the costs and stuff after you've run your event, I would recommend that you double click on the event run number, come in and enter in your postage cost, labor cost, material cost, and any other costs associated with the campaign. And then you want to put in your cost of goods percentage as to what your cost is. So if I had a $16 discount and my food cost was 25%, that would take $4 or 25% of it to the coupon amount and apply that to part of the expense of the marketing campaign, because you actually have to pay for the food that you discount. Let's talk about the email options here real quick. Let me just jump to a different event, and then I'll just go into the event wizard real quick, and I'll go down to the email options here. If you're sending your email through your own internet service provider, you would just say from an HTML template, and then that would just send it out through your own internet. Name list only will create a file that if you're sending your list of names to a service company, you could send that to them and they could import that in and send out your email. Most of our customers are now using the Create RM Gmail account, and what that will do is that will just create a file wherever you specify that you can upload to RM Gmail and schedule it to be sent to the participants. The from name, you could use any name you want, your friends at Chase's on the Beach, the email address. The from email address is where all the replies are going to go to, or the bounce backs if you have an error with their email, if it's no longer valid, and those will come back to your email account, where you will want to take those and update your database according to what the message actually indicates. The subject, again, could be anything you would like. I would give a word of precaution not to use terms that are going to be picked up by spam filters. You don't want to put the word free in there a lot of times, because those will count against you, and when emails go to recipients, they actually scan through the email to rate them according to whether they're junk mail or whether they're valid emails that you should be getting. The same thing would apply. You just step through it, you'd run the event, and then it would create the campaign.